passion for all things nerdy. Dungeons and Dragons, this world's not blurry. From comics to movies, he's got it all. He's an Outpost nerd living in a geeky world with his lightsaber shining. He's a Star Wars swerve through galaxies and adventures. Will take you there, take you there. He's an Outpost nerd, no one can compare. Nerd power. Yeah, he's the king of nerds, can't you not fair?
What's up, my nerd geeks and dweebs, and welcome to another transmission from the Outpost Nerd. I am the nerd at the Outpost. Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you all. You know, the past couple of years, Star Wars has really gotten, I don't want to say stale, but we've gotten a lot of it than we normally do. So I'm more of a fan of the sequel or the prequel trilogies and the original trilogies myself. I got my D7 blaster pistol. Still need to paint it. This one was a simple. Let me try something. I am going to remove. It's a little better. Got my D7 blaster pistol. Still need to be painted. This was a simple build, only 4 pieces. This piece, the barrel, the end butt, the handle, and in here, in the middle of it, here is a cutout was a block, so you could glue together these pieces and hold them together. I also have from RX Saber my elemental edge lightsaber with the PVC pipe blade. I like this because it's the color scheme, the blue highlights, the black and the gold accents, and it's heavy. I've shown this before. I would turn it on, but I cannot find my charger. So I just wanted to talk a little bit. This morning I watched the first episode of, let me bring that up. There we go. I watched Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord, the first episode, and I really enjoyed it. Who dat? Memento, thank you. May the 4th be with you as well, my Jedi friend. May the 4th be with you too, is Vicky. I ordered that about 3 years ago around this time online. It cost usually around $250. I got it for about $120 due to the May the 4th sales that are happening right now on a lot of Saber websites. But it's surprisingly the quality, and I did some research, a lot of research. Okay, that's just the light. I thought it was little. I did some research, and a lot of the Saber websites, they just sell you the handle. This one, let me take off the handle. Comes with a USB rechargeable battery and a complete soundboard. And I got this for $125. Looks like I'm like, So, and a lot of those Sabers that were just that you had to order the soundboard separately for another like $75, $80. They would just come with the handle. And this one, if I could turn it on, for the life of me, I looked everywhere for the charger. Here's the power button. You're able to change the color to any color you want. I keep it blue because that's my favorite saber color. It's motion sensor. I wish I could share with y'all. It's motion sensor, so it's and then when you hit it, it makes the clashing sounds, and it has different light effects. It has strobe, which gives me a fucking headache. Can't do that. You see a lot of sabers on the cheaper side that even if you get them at a Galaxy's Edge, they're a little on the cheaper side. This one lights up completely. It just doesn't just. A lot of them as you get closer to the end, and it came with this little protector at the end, which I keep on. I always keep on, so I don't lose it. It dims as you go. This one is very good at a consistent. Just wanted to check the blade. This one, I believe, might be a dueling saber. I don't want to find out because I don't want to be wrong and break the saber. But also too, all it takes a little Allen wrench. It's got about 1, 2, 4 little Allen wrench screws. Came with a couple extra screws and an Allen wrench size for it. You can remove the saber and put it on your belt. I'd love to have a Jedi robe costume. Plus two, with this little bit on the saber right here, it's pretty. I don't know. It's high end steel. It's like a high end aluminum, and I love it. First 2 pieces of my Star Wars collection right here. What I'm going to do is this. I'm kind of going to paint it to match my saber. I'm going to put make it flat black, and maybe right here some blue accents, and right here gold highlights, and maybe right here as well gold. A friend of mine had his dad has a bunch of 3D printers and printed. I found this file for free. Very simple, since it was my first time doing 3D printing. I wanted a simple thing I could put together. I saw some of that were like 8 or 9 pieces, were like broken down here. And it was really too complicated. So I got this. This is from Captain Rex. This is the blaster that Captain Rex would use in Clone Wars and Rebels. So he's my favorite clone, and so I really always wanted one of these. Like I said before, the dream is a full set of Mandalorian armor. Call me Mini Mando since I'm so short. But I'm enjoying Shadow Lord. I only saw the first episode a little while ago. Just with Disney's track record, I haven't been like in a rush to watch some of the new stuff, but from what I saw in the first episode, this is right after the Siege of Mandalore. We know all about the Siege of Mandalore from the Mandalorian and the last few episodes of Clone Wars. Maul takes over, and this seems to be around the time he loses Mandalore. I'm betting it's when it was glassed by the Empire. Ooh. And he's trying to build up his crime syndicate. I'm thinking this is going to be around the time he's starting that. I want to find a certain picture. Okay. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. StreamYard's being slow today. I'm really liking. Excuse me. I'm really liking the art style, the painting style of it, the mix of CGI and painting. We don't really see many hand-drawn, matte painted backgrounds, but it seems like almost the right here, close it, the mist and the edges of the ship he's on, which is a Mandalorian ship, is almost, it's painted, it looks like, and it's really beautifully done. Let me go back one. Okay, so he's not on Coruscant. You know, I thought maybe with the shot of the planet, it looked like a city planet. So I'm guessing with the mountains right here, it's not Coruscant because there's only one there's only one piece of land. It's this little park. It's like the highest mountaintop, and it's only like 3 feet out of the ground of the ships. We saw in one of the episodes of Mandalorian. See, there's Darth Maul, and what I'm wondering, his race is called Zabraks. I first saw them. We first got a name for him, I believe, in the Knights of the Old Republic 2 video game, where one of your companions is a Zabrak. It's the same species as Maul, but you see a lot of members of his crew who are Zabraks. Let's see. See, here's that painted look. It's really, really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. I really like these police officer uniforms that have they almost look like the droids, but they have their armor and helmets. And that almost looks like, what's her name from the Bad Batch? Clone Wars was a lot of CGI. Clone Wars was a lot of CGI. This is almost looks hand painted, like traditional animation. So I'm guessing they used CGI for it, but it's got that hand painted feeling to me. Got his awesome double bladed lightsaber. See, these two, from what I found out, he's a Jedi master and she's a Padawan on the run. One Inquisitors with his knockoff cheat-filled lightsaber. Basically, Dave Filoni said when they were developing the I think it's a mix of both, Vicky. They still use computers, like they still use all that, but it's almost like maybe like the characters in the foregrounds, they're CGI, but maybe the background's hand painted. The Inquisitors, they're almost like they're discount Sith, I'd call them, because everything a Sith or a Jedi can do, their lightsaber handles can do. They basically cheat. They reflect it. They can by spinning. One thing I remember, one of the Inquisitors did. They're able to use their lightsabers as kind of helicopters and fly away. So let's see. Yeah. Okay, they're just repeating. All right, they're repeating the pictures, but I enjoyed the first episode. It's got a mob style. It's like a mob film based in Star Wars, which I love mobster movies. One of the characters, he's cool. He's a little like 2 feet tall, like 2 2 feet tall alien, but he's got a big mech suit that he uses. It's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the episodes and talking about them. And on to just going to share some of my favorite stuff. I found this cool website for a Star Wars not a role playing game, but like a tabletop game. And I love the ships of Star Wars. I love just the different kinds. Just no two are the same. And I found this for Star Wars role playing game for the Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, Force of Destiny. All the ships and gear you can use. I just wanted to share. Here's a this is a type. This was what the Jedi Starfighter was in Episode 3. Here's one I like: the Kurox Light Starfighter. I always think that what would if I found myself in the Star Wars universe as a bounty hunter or something like that? What would I use? And would I use like a Razor Crest or a U-wing, which is my personal favorite starfighter that the rebels use? How would I survive? What kind of weapons would I be? What kind of bounty hunter would I be? Here's an interesting one I've never seen before. Here's a N1 starfighter, a rebel version of the N1 starfighter, which this is the ship that Anakin in Episode 1 uses to blow up the Trade Federation ship. And I always thought they were kind of bland, but I really liked what they did in the Book of Boba Fett when with Mando's N1 rat rod. I mean, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be a Jedi. I mean, I like the ladies too much, so I couldn't be a Jedi. But with the Mandalorian, I love like the idea of being a bounty hunter or bounty hunter support. But here's a version used by the Rebels, which I never saw before, and it looks really cool. I like the more angular, the nose is not as rounded off as regular N1, and it looks like it's been rebuilt with spare parts. So let's keep going. Here is the regular N1. See how it's very sharp and very clean. Naboo starship builders were very well known for their lean, shiny, silvery build of their starfighters. Here's a Pursuer class enforcement ship, which kind of I don't like the it's gotten so complex now and so big. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I like the idea of the Rebels using any ship they could get their hands on. That's pretty much what it reminds me of. Like the Rebels would be like the scaled down Lando's civilian fleet from Episode 9 that we saw, but scaled much more down. Here is the first Mandalorian ship, and it's still that Mandalorians we saw a lot. They're kind of that almost like a blade through space kind of ship with the wings, and the wings to land rotate up. Even in their starfighters, from their starfighters to their transports, all had the same kind of design. Mando Motors had a way of building their ships. Let's see. This is in Clone Wars. This was General Grievous' ship, the Beluga. I'm not even going to pronounce that. This was a really cool ship. Let's see. Nav computer, yes. So it had it had jump light speed capabilities. Consumables only 1 week. This if you want to look at a bounty hunting ship, consumables are the one of the real big points you need to look at. The longer consumable a ship has, the more you could spend out in space, the farther you could get from starports, and the bigger missions you could take. So consumables are, from what I've been watching and learning, are kind of one of the make or breaks of a bounty hunter ship. Here's the TIE Defender. We saw this in Rebels. This was the ship that Thrawn built, and the Rebels really had a hard time with. And I honestly believe if the Emperor had focused on the fleet, building up the fleet, and the TIE Defender specifically, the Rebels would not have stood a chance. But he sank all his money, and this is what caused the Empire to really fall. It wasn't only just the Rebels, but it was the economics. They sunk almost their entire economy into 2 space stations because they wanted not rule by force. They wanted to rule by fear, while Thrawn wanted to rule by force instead of fear. He had this idea of numbers over power. And I think if the Emperor would have listened to Thrawn, things might have became differently during the Galactic Civil War. Let's see what else we got. Here's an interesting one that I like. It looks more like a racer, the HALF 500 Starfighter. I've been watching videos on like ships to live in or ships to start out on. And this was one of the top ships that a beginner pilot, like someone who just got your pilot's license a week ago, this is one of the ships that would be best for you. Again, consumables only 2 days. So yeah. So now hyperdrive class 2, so not too fast. The lower the number, this is how it works. The lower the number on the class of hyperdrive, the faster you go. Like the Millennium Falcon originally had like a class 1, but I think Han put like a class 0.5 in it, so it was pretty fast. And it has forward-mounted linked laser cannons, which is cool. You don't have to, they can't fire individually. The ARX T3 Sun Cutter, that's an interesting, who built that? Don't know them. See, class 1 hyperdrive, so it's faster than the last one, but no backup. And this is from what I understand, all these are based off of information from Wikipedia, not Memory Alpha. Memory Alpha is the Star Trek. The last time Star Trek Day. Here's the Reaper class assault lander. This was featured very heavily, if I remember correctly. This was the hauler. No, that was a hauler. This was not. I was about to say, was this the one in Andor? So I don't think so. Here's one that I like: the SS-54 light assault gunship, which you can tell it has a lot of the same dimensions as a Razor Crest. The wings and the engines out from the body, the square body almost. This one was Boda Jeff Shipyards, again, class 2 hyperdrive, but unlike the other ones, this one has a class 12 backup. 1 pilot, 1 co-pilot, so passengers 6 to 10, so you can take the passenger area, make an armory, or like in the Razor Crest, add like a carbonite freezer or a bunk for you. So this one is a little more heavily armored than a Razor Crest. It has forward-mounted medium laser cannons right here on the nose, but it has a dorsal turret-mounted light laser cannon right here. So it's a little more heavily armored than a Razor Crest. And this one, the V-19 Torrent Starfighter, which was used heavily by the clones during the Clone Wars, heavily. No backup hyperdrive, but a class 1, 1 pilot, no passenger, so that's not a very good good bounty hunter ship. This one, bring them. This one is a aggressor class assault fighter, which it's more of a drone, a droid ship. They were very scaled down, hardly any life support, no amenities. This one was piloted by IG-88, which remember in Empire Strikes Back when Vader hires Boba Fett as well as the other bounty hunters. He was the IG-88 version that we saw with that group. Not really the one that we saw in The Mandalorian. That was a different IG-88. The one in Empire was IG-88B, so a different one. Let's see. So really cool ship. The TIE tactical bomber. I'm not a fan of Imperial ships due to these the solar wings. These wings were meant to help power the ship, so I've never been a fan of Imperial. The TIE aggressor, another one. The H-60 Tempest heavy bomber. This one, it takes a pilot and a systems operator, which I'm not a fan of because. And here's a ship, another Clone Wars era ship we saw, the V-Wing Interceptor. We saw a lot of clones use this one. It has no nav computer, but it has an astromech droid socket, so it does not have a hyperdrive, which for a bounty hunter is a no-go. Here is one of my absolute favorites, the E-Wing Starfighter. This one was supposed to be the X-Wing replacement. It was used by the New Republic during their early years. We saw this was the ship that Sabine tries to run from in the first episode of Ahsoka, which that was the first on-screen appearance of the E-Wing. It was not widely popular because the fuel that it used was very expensive and volatile. It had a Class 2 hyperdrive, so let's see. It had 2 ion engines, which were 2 less than the X-Wing. Had 2 laser cannons, and originally you could tell in this it had another laser cannon up front. But that caused a lot of issues. If the pilot had to eject, you're injecting into the barrel of the one of your lasers. So not very good. Braybird class starfighter. I've never seen this one before. That is very cool looking. It was used by the Imperial Remnant to replace the TIE fighter. Almost looks like an offshoot of the X-Wing and the E-Wing. Soro Snub. What else did they make? They made the Cutlass. Ooh. Well, let me bring up this one. I like this one. Come on. No, dang it. Here is a awesome. This is a Cutlass 9 patrol fighter. Oh, I like this ship. It has a Class 2 hyperdrive for something that small. Has a neck, two medium laser cannons, a concussion missile launcher that holds 8 concussion missiles, only room for one pilot, no passengers, so it's not a good um, bounty hunter ship. 2 weeks of consumables. Used by the Galactic Republic, the uh, the Separatists. Okay, used by a variety. Oh, I like this ship. If I was a bounty hunter who um took more dead than alive, but it has no droid socket. So that's an interesting ship. What else did this company make? Okay, they made the personal luxury yacht, which just what it sounds. It's a yacht in space. Lando Calrissian was known to use this ship. It has like if I've seen people make tours of this ship that it's like a casino in space. So let's see what else. Let's go back to this one. Here's an H-wing. I don't like this style, this double cockpitted fighter. Here is the Delta 12 Sky Sprite, which no hyperdrive, astromech socket, one pilot astromech, consumables 2 weeks. But from what I read, no armament. Yet weapons none. I remember that now. So this is I've heard. I saw a video. This is more like a courier ship than a bounty hunter ship. Here's the Delta 7 Aether Sprite Interceptor. This is design of the Episode 2 Star Wars Interceptor. Like, hold on a second. See, so hold on. I have here the Lego version, my Lego build that I did. This is Obi-Wan's Jedi Star Interceptor from Episode 2, and this set is known for the only Star Wars set to come with a Camino, and I have Obi-Wan with his blue lightsaber, and it comes with R4. But I left him over there on this table, so and it has little satellite, when he's informing the Council of the Clones, and it has the little blasters, which I don't want to lose the little piece. So this is that. Oh, that. So I actually also have a U-wing that I'm waiting to do. Gotta figure out how to multi-screen now that StreamYards has really messed up. This one, it was actually the first I've played with Legos since a kid. I has the right here the engines, This was the first ship I did a Lego set I put decals on. So it has the Republic symbol on it. But let me do something. I don't want to lose my Obi-Wan, so help if I put the arms up. Put him here. And the coolest thing about this, it came with a spare lightsaber, and it has here's the spare handle, and it has a place right here you can put it when he's in his cockpit. And it has some extra bullets. Yeah, little place you could put the R2 unit body when the head goes right here. Because in canon, these had integrated astromech units. That's why R5 never leaves the ship, because all he is a head right here, where R2 can pop right out. You see him and just roll on. R5 could not. So I put him in his. I'm going to stick the Camino. I'm going to give her. I think it's a her. That's the Camino, and she's riding shotgun. So we'll set that aside. So that's actually my 3 pieces. I was muted the whole time. I was talking about that. Why didn't anyone say anything? I had my mic here. What I was saying, Obi-Wan, Kaminoan, since this is the only set that came with this figure. Blasters. You heard me? Good. Thank you, Vicky. I'm guessing. See, usually when I put my headset up, it's muted. I guess I have it set up where when I put this up, my computer picks up. Good. I was freaking out there for a second. But I have a U-Wing Lego set, which I'm waiting. It's one of those things like you want to do it, but you don't want to do it because then you'll be done. Because let me bring up the U-Wing. This is my absolute favorite ship from the new era, from the Disney era. I don't want that. I want. Okay. Open image. No. Open image. Let me see. Can I bring? Let's see. This is my absolute favorite ship. Bring that up. Bring this. This is the U-60D U-Wing, based off the Huey helicopter. A lot of Rebel ships were based off of real ships used in Vietnam, Korea, and all that. This one was made by Incom, which is the same company that made many of the Rebel ships. And that was so you can get in any of these ships and know how to fly them instinctively, because the controls really weren't much different. Incom would do these same style of controls. This one followed the expanded wing design. These wings would, during an atmospheric flight, would fold back between the ion engines. These are the same kind of engines that the X-wing would use, and it would allow for more stable in atmosphere flying. They were 24 meters in length. That's with the S foils, and width about 8.5 meters. Maximum atmospheric speed was about 950 kilometers per hour. Had a class 1 hyperdrive, so they did not need a mothership. They had their shielding. They had amazing targeting systems. Here's they had 2 forward laser cannons, which we see on the nose. But since it was based off the Huey helicopter, a lot of this, and it was a support craft. It was a support craft SAS starfighter. Oh, they'd be awesome. They would be awesome. And in one of the recent Star Wars games, I think it was the recent Star Wars Starfighter game, this was a playable ship. The U-Wing was a playable ship. But since it had it was a support craft, basically you dropped your soldiers off and you had a gunner who had used a repeating ion blaster. And it had up to 2 gunners because the sides could open up like a helicopter. Basically, this was the helicopter of the Rebel fleet. They were not very many made of them due to NCOM being taken over by the being nationalized by the Empire. Here's it with the S foils open. The downside is you had a bigger target profile, but you had a smoother ride. Bail Organa, Leia Organa's father, he was known for. It was not a secret that Alderaan would have ships more times than not get commandeered by the rebels. And before NCOM was taken over by the Empire, a shipment of U-Wings were found their way into rebels' hands. So they weren't widely used and widely made. So you'd be hard pressed to find them outside the rebellion. See, consumables again, 2 weeks. It was a gunship, troop transport, and shuttle combo. And first saw this ship in the first season, or in Rogue One. This was the ship Rogue Squadron used to get to Scarif. I think it's a beautiful ship. I think this would be if you could maybe elongate the like upper level of the canopy to maybe something like a living quarters up here, or with some modification, this could be an amazing bounty hunter ship. So let's get back to list of starships. Come on. See, there we go. The Delta 6 System Defense Starfighter, which I was just another version, which I was just talking about, the Jedi Starfighter. Some of these are different variants of the same ship. And there's the Cutlass we were just talking about. And some of these ships we've only seen in, we haven't seen on screen, so a lot of them are illustrations. Pathfinder scout ship. The TIE Interceptor. Starhopper, don't know much about these. This is one of my favorite ships. This to me would be one of the perfect bounty hunter ships. So let me bring that up on. The E9 Explorer class armed long-range vessels, scout vessel. It has class 1 hyperdrive with a class 12 backup, 2 laser turrets, so it's lightly armed. This one would be good for a bounty hunter crew because you'd have to have 4 crew members. And here's the biggest thing. The biggest thing about this ship, and this is what I think would make it an amazing bounty hunter cruise ship. Consumables. Here it says 6 months. On memory, Wikipedia, it says 2 weeks. So I'm looking at this one, but it needs 1 pilot, 1 co-pilot, 1 engineer, and 1 load master. You could use this for bounty hunters, cargo, scouts, couriers, maybe transports, all that, and you could do all that to hide your bounty hunter job. But it's more of a scout vessel. So let's see what else they got. The Sentinel class landing craft. This was the precursor to the Imperial landing craft. We see the Emperor, Vader, and Han and Leia. It's a good all-purpose ship. You can take different jobs. You don't have to stick with bounty hunting. You can take whatever job is available, whatever you need. So I like it. I've watched a lot of videos on it. The Sentinel was a early. I think this is the type of vessel that that Palpatine takes to Mustafar to get Vader after he's been burnt to a crisp. Here's the B-Wing, which we saw in Rebels, developed for the Rebellion. Very powerful, kind of one-of-a-kind ship. Here's the A-Wing, which I don't like this illustration of the A-Wing. So let me find, that's backwards. Let's see. Here he is. This is one that not many Rebel pilots, this was known as like the Death Trap. It was super fast. This was the ship that during the Battle of Endor, the guy gets shot down and he's able to maneuver and take out the bridge of one of the Star Destroyers. Or no, it was the Super Star Destroyer. It was the Executor. He takes down the Executor and sends it crashing down into the Death Star. The cannons were known to rotate. Let's see. Let me bring up the specs. The A-Wing Starfighter. There was the R-22 Spearhead, A-1 Interceptor, RZ Trainer, and RZ-A2 Interceptor. Let's bring up this one. Yeah, here it is. It's a starfighter, very small, only 7.5 meters and 4 long, 4.5 meters wide. Has class 1 hyperdrive, which for a small ship is. This one was made by Kuat Systems Engineering. Let's see. Where is it? Here it is. Armament has Dimec HM-22 concussive missile launchers, two launchers, but can hold 12 concussion missiles. So but it also had miniaturized proton torpedoes, which that was the ship that that was the missile that the X-wing shot, and it had two Go 4 laser cannons that I believe could rotate, but the handling of these were so insane. They were known as death traps. They were the survivability of the pilots were very small, but the rebels used what they could. Let's go. But for some reason, this illustration is backwards. Here we get into the X-wing. So many variants of X-wings to go over, and we all know the X-wing. The M22 crate gunship, which is a gun I like. Let's look up this. I was looking up floor plans for this one the other day. Very small. New tab. Let's see. I love the name because crate dragons are like one of the coolest animals. This is a Mandal motor, so the Mandalorians made this ship. Here, as you can see, very small. You need a crew of two. You need a pilot and a gunner, which I think for a bounty hunter, you could probably gut that out and put a droid socket in there. Maybe some way a droid could pop in and out and fire. It has Class 1 hyperdrive, so it's pretty fast. 2 heavy laser cannons, 2 medium ion cannons, concussion missile launcher with 16 concussion missiles. So it is a heavily armed ship for something that size. And you can see here, you have like maybe a bunk and a refresher, which is basically a bathroom. But I could see maybe some modifications to make it a one-person ship. Only consumables for 1 week. So maybe if it is, doesn't give me the dimensions though. Let me see. Does it give it me? No, but that would be if I had to pick. Maybe I'd pick between this one, the U-wing, but if I needed something a little heavier armed, it'd be the crate. It'd be the crate gunship. It would be this cool ship. Mandal motors, they're known for like ships having teeth and style. But this one goes against the design of the other ships that have with the rotating landing wings that I see. Let's see. Here we are getting to this one. I've never seen this one. Heavy 95 Starfighter. This one looks like it's got the same profile as this X-wing. I don't remember. That one looks cool. Here's the R-41 Star Chaser, which is, I think, Class 2 Star Hyperdrive. No. 1 week. A lot of weapons. Okay, that looks cool. Here we get into the Y-wing. I'm not going to go over some of these better-known Rebel ships. But here's a Sleuth Scout ship. 3 months consumables. That's good. Forward-mounted light laser cannon, so a little bit on the light side. You can see these are kind of the same ship styles. The cloak-shaped fighter. Kuat system. Hey, Lady Autumn. Yeah, teeth, like weapons, it can bite back. Like if you try it, you want ships with a little heavy on the weapons in case you're going through like a system that's heavy on the pirates. You want ships that are light enough they can be fast, but heavily armed enough that it'll make these pirates and warlords think twice about attacking you. Oh, my mouse is starting to mess. Here's one of my favorite ships. Let me bring up the specs on this one. This one is interesting. There it is. The GAT-12 Skip Ray blast boat. It's a gunship. Let's see. And then share this one instead. This one is interesting. It's pretty cool because it has the tail rotates, and there was an early galactic Civil War one of the smallest hyperspace capable starships used by the Imperial Navy, only 25 meters in length, 9 meters in flight configuration, and 12 in landing configuration. Let's see. Class 2 hyperdrive, so you could upgrade the armament: 3 medium ion cannons, 2 laser cannons, 1 torpedo launcher, and 1 tractor beam projector, which is you don't see a lot in ships of this size. It has 3 medium ion cannons, and these are different versions. Okay, let me bring this. Here it is. Here's what I want. Tab. Oh, this is perfect. Here's actually the main schematics, I guess you could say. You have the command cannon up here, the main hatch, main laser cannon, ion cannons which rotate. Here's the front view that they would see. Emergency hatch, reactor core. This is landing mode. When the ship lands, the wings become parallel to the ship, and flight view is vertical, and you have unobstructed shots from your ion cannon. You're good, Memento. Thanks for being here. So this is an interesting ship. Very small for a bounty hunter ship. But you need a 1 pilot, 1 co-pilot, 1 comms and systems operator, and 2 gunners. So much more like a crew ship. And here's the Lambada class ship. This was the actual ship that the one I showed earlier of this style was kind of an early version. This was the ship that was kind of the workhorse of the Imperial Navy. This is the ship that Palpatine and Vader took in the original trilogy, and the one that the Rebels stole so they could take down the shield at Endor. See, I don't like the off-centered ships like this, so this is another one. The Headhunter, another early version of the X-Wing. You can tell where the X-Wing came from in the profile of these ships, like right here. Sonar fleet system, so not incom. 1 pilot, no hyperdrive, no passenger, 1-day consumables. So, and here we are. This will always be Slave One, one of the best ships. It's called a fire spray patrol ship. It Quat system manufacturing. The only reason we see Slave One is because Django actually stole the prototype, which became the Slave One, and heavily modified it. Class 3 hyperdrive, backup class 15, which I'm thinking Boba and Django probably really upgraded these. Yeah, they really upgraded Slave One. One pilot, 2 guards, which 2 guards don't need. Passenger ship. This is, for a lot of people, the quintessential bounty hunter ship due to Boba Fett. 4 mounted auto blasters, 4 mounted auto light tractor beam projector. Yeah, Slave One was much more heavily modified. And here's the TIE Starfighter, which everyone knows about that. And that's pretty much all the Star Wars ships. If I knew as many about real world cars as I do these starships, I could open my own garage. But today is a day we celebrate Star Wars as a whole, not necessarily the good and the bad, just the joy that is brought to us for 40 years, over 40 years of Star Wars. It has ignited so many people's imagination and their passion. It will be one of the modern epics. Like in 100 years or 200 years, people will be studying Star Wars like we study the epics of like Beowulf, Tolkien, Lewis, all those great stories. This is one of the great stories of our time. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate that. Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Enjoy your Revenge of the 5th tomorrow. Before we go, I want to thank all my financial supporters: Squab Bob, Divinity Said, Kicker Death, and Bertrand 850. Thank you all. And if you want to join the list, if you want to help out the Outpost, go to buymecoffee.com/outpostnerd. Every penny will help, and will help me keep being able to do what I do, and hopefully one day invest in the channel more and help us grow. So remember what I said. I love you guys. Remember what we said at the Outpost. Find your passion and nerd out about it. I'm the nerd of the Outpost. Love you. I'm gone.
Found my beliefs. Miss our voices silent to my way. Binary code run through my veins. Every beat and beat I feel no pain. Signing off, it's time to go. Goodbye, my nerdy friends, see you later. I know through the stars we've shared this ride.